Ekwall Möter presenteras av Vitamin Well Zero. Zero sugar. 100% Vitamin Well.
It's much easier to avoid incidents than to try convince people not to hate you about it. That's my opinion.
Ja, vi är på Årsta IP, jättefint nytt hus för allt har de Hammarby på sin anläggning där. Och Nikola Djurdjic sitter i stolen hos Ekwall Möter, and we will conduct this one in English because your Swedish is kind of bad.
No, it's not kind of bad, but yeah, grammar is not that good, so I think if you want to hear me say what I want to say, I think it's best to say
But you know how to speak Swedish?
I can talk basics, I can understand most of Swedish, but especially football language I can understand. But as I said,
And the bad words?
yeah, but you don't have so many bad words actually. I
No.
think comparing to my language, you're very, very kind and friendly people when it comes to bad words.
I grew up in Malmö once with a lot of people from the former Yugoslavia in my...
Then you should know.
Yeah, I know a couple of ones. I won't go there, but I know a couple of ones. So they use. But anyhow, you're still back. You're still in Sweden after a while, being abroad a couple of times, and after the spell in Norway where you were doing really good, you came to Helsingborg, and you came back all the time. How come? Why is Sweden? I mean, most of your success, so to say, apart from Norway, would you say is in Sweden?
Yeah.
Why is that?
For sure. I don't know. It is also a little bit personal when it comes to that, because first 2 times I came directly because Åge Hareide wanted me, both to Helsingborg and to Malmö. So that was actually the reason why I came, and then the 3rd time it was Jesper Jansson. So I had pretty much success with Helsingborg when I came, especially in Europa League. I had really good 6 months that sold me to Bundesliga. So my second spell in Sweden with Malmö came natural because I was struggling with playtime in Augsburg, and Åge called up again and said Malmö had something interesting going on, and also have to say it was very successful playing, qualifying for Champions League. So. So far Sweden has been treating me well, and I played good, and I feel good in Sweden.
Would you say it's a different thing being a professional player in Sweden comparing to the other countries you've been to, especially Germany?
When I came from Germany, especially from Germany, not the first time from Norway, but when I came from Augsburg to Malmö, even though Malmö is maybe the most professional club in Sweden, I felt like it was 6 months loan, and I felt like I was 6 months on vacation.
In what respect?
First, when it comes to trainings. Second, when it comes to all the things around trainings. For example, you don't see your phone in Germany from 9 a.m. to 2-3 p.m. while you're there. You don't even think about looking at your phone.
The iPhone, yeah, no.
When you have dinner, lunch, whatever, you cannot touch your phone. You are all the time under an eye of an assistant coach, physical coach. You have obligations what to do. You have, even the treatments are not voluntary. If you want to have massage, it's obligatory, so you have to have massage. And stuff like that. So Germany has been, so to say, really, really, really as professional as it can be in football, what I think. So when I came to Sweden, there is laughing on trainings, there is a little bit longer breaks between exercises, people are talking. That doesn't happen in Germany. You jog between the exercises, every minute is planned. When you drive to the training center in the morning, like 2 hours before the training starts, you already see everything is set up, every coin is there, all the exercises are planned. So yeah, Germany takes a little bit more toll than the other countries. I think they are really, really as professional as they can be.
I can't really get it. Do you think it's good or bad?
In one way, it's good, because when you look German football and what they've done, it has to be good the way they're working. On the other hand, I think 1 year in Germany is like for example, 3 years in Sweden, comparing to how much stress you have on your body, how much effort you put into everyday training only. It has to be good, definitely. But then again, I think, and I've seen that in Germany, a lot of players are finishing when they're 32, 33, 34, because they cannot keep it up.
Would you then say there are some things that you brought from your experiences in Germany to Sweden, to Hammarby, for example, tell people that, I mean, you gotta be more serious here?
Yeah. What I've learned and what I liked in Germany, for example, even when you play square, simple quadrat, as you call it in Sweden, they take it serious, and I like it because it's more fun. Even when you do a simple passing exercise, when you hit the ball every time distinct, sharp, it makes the exercise fun, and that's how they do it in Germany. They are behind your back on every exercise, really trying to make it 100%. So this is what I like there, and this is what I try to bring a little bit here. And it's sometimes not easy, but because the culture is a little bit different. But that's what I try to bring into the everyday training. That focus that they have in Germany, and it's really good. Yeah.
But how about the laughter? I mean, it has to be fun sometimes.
Yeah, in Germany you don't have that. No. They don't appreciate having any fun in trainings. They don't mix football with pleasure. They will look at it as a work, and that's what I think is the bad side in Germany. That's what I missed the most when I was there, and actually it was one of the reasons why I left at the end, because it was a little bit too much of work, not so much joy. And especially then when you don't get to play every weekend, starting 11, then it hits you even harder because you don't really enjoy football.
Would you say it's a bit hard to be traveling around as a footballer sometimes?
Yeah, but I think it's actually a good life. I think it's fun when you're young. You experience so many things, so many different cultures, countries. I mean, everybody would like to travel and live in different countries. So it's hard for the family. It's hard to settle, and when you have kids also, it makes it more hard. But I think it's a good life, definitely. Professional football player. I have a daughter, but if I would have a son, I would like him to be a professional athlete, doesn't matter, football, basketball, something like that. I think it's a really good life. And it also, considering that I come from a country like Serbia, it's also a big plus because it takes you out from the street, so you focus on something good.
Remind that you're in Sweden now, so you have to say that my daughter also could be a professional athlete.
Yeah, definitely professional athlete, but not a football player. I think my wife wouldn't like that because she thinks, yeah, my daughter should be a little bit more, maybe tennis. Tennis, I think it's a really nice sport for girls. So yeah, I know how it is in Sweden. In the whole Scandinavia, of course, it's the most natural thing to play football. In Serbia, not so much. We don't have so many girls playing football.
Talking about your life in Serbia, I know you grew up in a place kind of close to the Bulgarian border.
Yeah.
That is the word in English. In a pretty small place. How was it there? I mean, everybody here is talking about the Balkan countries' football and ball wonder. Would you say it's more football there or more playing ball all the time?
It has to be ball involved, yeah.
Yeah.
Even tennis was not big until Djokovic came up.
Yeah.
That was, these individual sports are not our thing, definitely. So basketball is huge. Football, we were always good at handball, water polo, volleyball. So these are the sports that are Serbian, so to say, Balkan sports. So football is definitely top 2, but since the country Yugoslavia fell apart, we lost a little bit on the quality, because I think if you have, just to think about Yugoslavia, how strong it would be if you have Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia, Macedonia all together with the best players, and then when we got separated, the quality came down a little bit. Now Croatia stepped up big time, but Serbian football national team is not as good as basketball team. So Yeah, but for example, me as a kid, training football every day and then 5-6 hours playing basketball after that. So it was all about sports, and we had the really tough times through the war and everything. So I think sports kept the country together, and our success in sport kept us together.
Do you remember anything about the separation, Yugoslavia separation?
Yeah. It was not on my side of country, that civil war.
No.
But I remember the bad times. It suddenly came, and when I was born, the times were actually pretty good. But then when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, it went really, really bad.
In what way?
Yeah, then we came a war with on the border with Bosnia, Croatia. Then it was chaos, and I remember inflation when one chewing gum was like 50 billion Serbian dinars, and I think I needed like 50 million Serbian dinars to buy a ride at Tivoli. Stuff like that, and really, really people were poor. Suddenly from a very, very good country, everything was, in a couple of years, it was, people were running away from Serbia, from Bosnia. People were looking for a better place to live. And then the war, the NATO bombing in '99, I believe it was. I was already 13 years old, hiding in shelters. Yeah, it was made us a little bit special, our characters. So, as you have noticed, probably we are a little bit more emotional, more passionate, and I think this is also a big reason that we've been through a lot as young.
Were you afraid at that time?
Yeah, I was afraid at the beginning. Then I was happy that I didn't go to school. They were playing football. Even when the sirens came on for the air attacks, we were stay outside, play football, basketball. Our parents were losing their heads, but we were outside playing, having fun. Yeah, we didn't really realize how dangerous it was. Yeah, so definitely scared, but also we had fun.
And in a way, you will say this gives you impressions as a young kid that takes you further down the road when you're growing up. Is that what you're saying? I mean, what you've noticed then, making you stronger, or what?
Yeah, I think so. As I said, I don't think after all of this, I don't think me personally, I'm not scared of some things that maybe normal people in Scandinavia would be scared of. I'm not, how to say, when it comes to football, my pain toleration is a little bit higher. I'm going with a little bit more courage because I feel that my character is built that I can survive through anything. So I'm not scared of any challenge. I'm not scared of any higher goals than normal, and I'm not scared of failing. So that's it.
And that's why you're making the headlines all the time. Is that because of us being the assholes, or because you are just you?
Well, you know, for example, you and me personally, we had a conflict, and I don't
not
think
a big conflict,
no,
I have to say,
I don't
but
think it's
still
a bad
discussion.
thing necessarily. Discussion,
No.
yeah. But I'm actually, I think it's good that we had a personal discussion to sort it out, because that doesn't exist so much today in professional sport when it comes to relation between journalists and players. So I think there has to be criticism, definitely. But also then again, I think there has to be a background for everything. There has to be reason, and there has to be also. For example, me throughout my career, I got a lot of, so to say, shit, and it has been driving me to become even better, I think, in one way. But also when I feel that it's unfair I get a little bit more extra sensitive, and that's what happened this time.
But if you, the good thing here is that, and people probably doesn't know what this is all about, but I wrote something in a krönika, as the word in Swedish is, and there were a couple of criticisms towards you and some of your friends. And one part I felt when you got to me, I felt, well, he's right. It was too much, too bad. And what we have to say is that even if footballers are sensitive to criticism, sports journalists is even worse. So it's a good thing to have a discussion about things instead of just saying to everybody that he's an idiot.
Yeah,
so,
I
and
agree.
we sorted it out. We are friends now. I think we're friends now.
Yeah, definitely. I don't mind having, for example, with you having a connection where we're gonna go at each other and having different opinions. I don't think it's something bad.
No.
So when you come and we come with constructive criticism, I would always respect it. And when I have a shit game, I'm the first guy who knows it, and I would take the criticism.
But that's what all footballers say. But when they get criticized,
this time it was the thing was that I felt it was a little bit.
But apart from this particular thing, I would say some footballers, not you, maybe others, they would always say, I don't read whatever you, because we know they read.
For sure,
we know they read.
Everybody is reading it. Everybody gets annoyed by it. Everybody will react to it. Not everybody in the same way, but definitely it's.
So even if somebody writes something bad about me, which could happen if you work with TV, you could be used to that. I would sometimes think that I know this and that wasn't that good, what I've done, but when I get criticized, I still feel a little bit bad about it, even though I know I should taking it a bit better. And I would say most of the footballers are the same. They know they made a shitty match.
No, I think footballers are a little bit more sensitive because they know how much this affects everything. Definitely you have a lot of people that come to the games, especially in Hammarby. You have a lot of people that follow football through media. So the picture that you create in media sometimes is much stronger than the picture that you show on the field. And you have to take care of it, and sometimes it makes you look bad, and that's the problem. And you have guys that don't care about it, really. But I think 80–90% of the guys are really affected by it, and but that's the way it should be, right? I mean, we play football for fans and also for media. So there should be some mutual benefit of all of this. And when it goes one way, it's pretty bad. So that's why I felt that time, I'm just pointing out again, I felt I wanted to hit back and show how it is when you go personal into somebody. So no hard feelings. The moment we had discussion, I went over it, and I have no problem with you.
I'm fine with that as well. I like the discussions. So rather the discussion and instead of no discussion.
Exactly.
That's better. But don't tell me that players doesn't care, because I know they care and they read everything more or less.
There has been some guys that I've seen that are not really affected, but
they're
as
rare.
I told you, 90% of people are really depending on it. So, but it's normal. You cannot.
But Nikola, on the other hand, as I said, making the headlines, you are there all the time in a way, because I believe you want to say something, and if you want to say something, you say it. That's why. Or?
Yeah, I could be a little bit too aggressive with my statements sometimes. But
somebody told you not to be that aggressive?
Not really, but I feel sometimes people, even when they don't say it, I don't think people want me to put so much spotlight on myself or at the club sometimes. But I try to put it always as something positive, and I do it with a reason, with a purpose, and to push other guys as well. So some people don't like it, definitely. And but I always said if somebody has problem with it, they should let me know, and if I'm causing trouble, I will not do it. But so far, I don't think that has been the reason, except one situation, of course, when we had the incident with me and Rodic. So I don't think the other things have been putting any bad influence on the club or publicity.
Saying that Hammarby will win the league would be, for anyone involved in the club, be a natural thing to say, don't you think?
Yeah, if you say, considering what happened in the past 7-8 years with the club, I don't think it's most natural thing for.
But if you're in the club, in the team, recruiting like you have done the last 2 years, so to say, and what you did last season, hey, it's not a.
It's not an
overstatement.
No, definitely. And even if I said many times, even if we fail, I think we should have this settings in our head. Like, yeah, we go for the title. It's so nice because the club like this deserves to have these kind of goals.
It's a little bit German.
Could be, yeah. So, but look at Hammarby comparing what an army of fans we have, what city we are in, what stadium we have, what facilities we have, and now even the squad. It's a natural thing to say to go for the goal.
You mentioned the incident with you and Rodic and the hatery. I've read about the hatery you've got and that is spreading around football sometimes. If we skip the incident because you've talked a lot about that, but I would like to talk about the hatery and what do you think about the hate that is, in a way, all over football sometimes. I would say it's too much. I don't know what you say.
Depending where, but most of my teenager days I've been at the stands as well. I've been a little, not to say hooligan, but I was a lot involved in chanting. I was a passionate fan. So I cannot say I don't understand it. I cannot say I don't understand it because I was that feeling what you have for your football club that you love. I don't think you can compare it to anything else because I've seen people that are reasonable about everything in their life, but when it comes to sports, when it comes to being passionate about club, they have no reason at all. When the emotions are overflowing, it makes you blind. People do stupid things, and I was really hurt because in 2 or 3 hours, something that I've been building for the whole year went down, and people forgot about it, like in 2 hours, and suddenly I was the.
But that's blindness in a way.
Yeah, and that's what hurts, and when you feel it on your skin, I mean, I was always the first guy to go in opponents' faces. I was always the first guy to fight with Milosevic, to fight with Goitom on the pitch, to talk shit to them, to go into their faces. And then somebody to think that I would celebrate title with them. I mean, no matter what media says, no matter what people are talking, you've seen me the whole year. You know what I've done. How can you just believe it straight away and go boom? Like, I think people, if somebody saw me in the street, I don't know what would happen in those 2-3 days. And that hurts, but then I realized how stupid it all was and how much I really need to take care of every action I do outside the football pitch as well.
So what you're trying to say is that if there sometimes are hate and people doing stupid things, you have to understand it.
Yeah. When it comes to football, it's very hard to fight it. And it's much easier to avoid incidents than to try to convince people not to hate you about it. That's my opinion.
What team did you support?
Partizan.
Okay.
Partizan, yeah.
So you traveled to Belgrade? Or?
Yeah, I was traveling to Belgrade like 4 or 5 hours with bus to watch. I was even at the game Partizan Hammarby Champions League qualifier 2002, I think.
Yeah,
Kennedy was playing.
And the video Juga was playing, I think.
Sorry?
Never mind. There was these former Yugoslavian players that Hammarby took. But this, I was wrong. It was a long time ago. Okay. They took 2 former Yugoslavian players after seeing them on video,
Okay.
So they were a disaster, and you have to ask somebody in the club, and they called them video yuga, because at that time they only had VHS video, so you watched that. You haven't heard about that?
No, but sounds like a normal story.
I don't remember the name of the players, but yeah, the story about the video yuga is quite well known in Sweden.
I haven't heard it actually.
No, never mind. Never mind. So you were there at Partisan Hammarby?
Yeah, I was there all the time, and I was every game, like every European game I was there, and I was really a little, not hooligan, but I was passionate fan of Partizan.
Oh, what's the difference here?
Difference is that I was not in the riots, and
okay.
I was not the guy fighting, but yeah, I was there all the time.
There is a league coming up, of course, interesting as always, since we have in Sweden 4 or 5 months to discuss it before it even starts, which I would say consider a bad thing, but that's the way it is. We still have snow around the corner here, so maybe that's why. But if you look upon what's coming up, what will you say? Who's winning? Well, you told me who's winning. Who's going to be the toughest opponents, and so forth?
Definitely, I think in general Swedish football is getting better and better. A lot of profiles coming in. A lot of, I think, fans are. It's growing. I can tell that this football tradition that there is in Sweden, I didn't feel it anywhere else in Scandinavia. So I think Allsvenskan is growing definitely. More and more clubs are going for title. Really interesting clubs that I've seen. I really like the style that Norrköping is playing football. Malmö definitely always up there. Ekwall comes natural now, although I think they will have a little bit more problems this year than last year. Definitely we are in the top there, and yeah.
Why didn't you reach all the way last season? It was pretty, it was a bit of a fell down during
that September month killed us. We had 1 point in September. We ran empty. I don't know. I think it was the depth of the squad that was crucial. Needed a little bit longer bench maybe, and yeah, we definitely lost some points that were way too cheap. So. And those 2 derbies against Ekwall, losing 1-0 both games, where we definitely did not deserve to lose any of those games. That was a big hit, especially the second derby. It was a knockout for us. So I think this year we have to think not sprint, marathon. We had 9 games, 8 wins and a draw at the beginning of last year. Yeah, so 4th place at the end sounds like disaster.
There is also a debate in Sweden that is still burning about the artificial grass. Being at your training facilities here, it's all artificial. I mean, when it comes to the grass, what do you think about that? Not what you have in your, but I mean the artificial grass in general in Sweden.
I think sometimes it's not really the same sport when you play on artificial grass, but definitely when it comes to this new class of artificial grass, it's pretty good. The one that we have at Tele2 now, I think it's really good. So yeah, I think football should definitely be played always on real grass. Maybe the hybrid is the perfect solution. But it's much more expensive to take care of it throughout the winter, and yeah. As long as there is this A class of artificial grass in Sweden, I think it's the best solution, and it's better playing at good artificial grass than at some pitch that you cannot even pass the ball. I think it kills football as well. You play at the bad fields. I don't think the people like to watch that kind of football, so you have to find the best solution, and I think football is much more fun to look at on a good field.
You seem to be the captain of the team. It's a big thing.
Being a captain of Hammarby is huge.
Yeah.
This club is enormous, and it's a big honor. So,
to be honest with you, I don't know how many if they had any foreign player being the captain.
I don't know, but Kennedy has been here for past 5, 6, 7 years. How long has he been since he came back? I think 2012.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
So then Iloan was when he was starting in past 2 years. So not so many captains, I believe, foreigners. So it's a big honor, definitely. We see we need leaders, not just one. We need more of them on the pitch. So,
would you say that people in Serbia knows who you are? I mean, since we are following Swedish players playing abroad, and you play abroad from that point of view. You made only one match for the national team. You probably should have been more if you've been a bit more lucky. But would they know who you are?
Yeah, but to be honest, mostly because I played in Partizan.
Yeah.
Not because of my national team appearance, or they don't really follow so much Scandinavian football, I think.
But do they follow players abroad?
Yeah, but we have so many huge superstars that it's hard to get out of their shadow. So even if I was, for example, top scorer in Sweden, I wouldn't really be a name in Serbia. But I've been in Germany for 4 years. That was the time when I think people really got to know me. I had some really good years in Germany, some not so good, but also I was a lot in the talks about the national team for a long time. And even though I played only one game, I was there maybe 8, 9 times on the bench. So I was there. People know me, but I'm much bigger profile in Scandinavia than back home.
So you're a bit Scandinavian then? A bit Swedish, to be honest.
Yeah, also I spent a lot of time in Norway where I had a lot of success. So I don't know. Definitely Scandinavia is a big part of me, especially Sweden. I don't know, somehow I find Sweden the most, the people in Sweden are most something that fits me that I couldn't find anywhere else. I found in Sweden, so I think I feel good here, I play good here, and people can see that.
That sounds like a good end of the interview, and if we have during the upcoming season any more debates on what's right or what's wrong, we just keep in touch and we'll sort it out.
I would really like to have some more conflicts with you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having this interview. Thank you.
Thank you.